We now have details behind a bizarre and dangerous incident at UND Housing in early October. 21-year-old Ernest Lee Jr. of Grand Forks is now facing 7 felony charges for allegedly assaulting UND police officers, severely burning himself, and being hospitalized. We begin with my October 3rd report from the scene just after it happened.
Neil Carlson here with some breaking news out of Grand Forks early on a Saturday morning. We've had a man injured in a fire incident. This is on the 3900 block of University Avenue. Fire crews were called just after midnight.
Ultra Station 2, can you respond to 3904 University Avenue? 3904 University Avenue, there's an active fire, I'll page out all stations. We need you emergently.
3904 University Avenue, male subject may have set himself on fire.
Now, as of this Monday evening, November 16th, Ernest Lee Jr. has not been booked into jail yet. No booking photo. It's not clear yet if he's still hospitalized. But according to the criminal complaint, on October 3rd at 12:16 a.m., UND officers arrived on the scene at 3904 University Avenue for a possible domestic violence incident in progress. Officers observed 2 females frantically running out of the apartment building. It was later discovered that they ran out of an apartment next door because they were in fear for their life of what was happening in the next door apartment. Officers approached the door of the apartment where they could hear a lot of yelling and things being broken. Another officer arrived on the scene and stated that exterior windows were being broken out and they needed to make entry. Officers keyed into the apartment because they thought someone's life may be in danger. As officers opened the door, they observed a fire that was on the stovetop as well as a fire in the oven. Officers could hear a male yelling and screaming. The male was later identified as Ernest Lee Jr. He was nude and irate. There were multiple objects that were being broken and blood covering the apartment. Multiple commands were given for Lee to come out with his hands up. Lee did not comply. Lee charged the officers with a chair and threw it, but they stepped out of the way. Lee then threw himself on the flame of the stovetop, and he caught himself on fire and burned himself. An officer grabbed Lee off the fire, and Lee charged off another officer. After a successful taser deployment, an officer attempted to place Lee in handcuffs, but he shoved the officer out of the way and charged another officer. That officer deployed another taser, and it was unsuccessful. Another officer kicked Lee, and Lee fell to the ground. Officers then attempted to detain Lee again, but he broke free and continued running down the hallway. Another successful taser deployment, and officers were able to get Lee under control and arrest him. Again, that was from the criminal complaint of allegedly what happened here on October 3rd. As of today, November 16th, Ernest Lee Jr. has been charged with 7 felonies involving criminal mischief, assaulting police officers, preventing arrest, and endangering by fire. He's scheduled to make his first court appearance on December 9th. I'm Neil Carlson reporting for iNewZ.TV.